This is Llamacraft. This is also Llamacraft. And yes, even this is Llamacraft. So it was the year 2016. I just got home from school and I went to go turn on my PlayStation. Starting a new world, I called it Llamacraft. So if you weren't unaware, Llamacraft didn't actually start with my YouTube channel. My friends and I have actually been playing on it for several years through several different worlds. The first of which being on my PlayStation. So starting the world, I decided to settle near spawn, and then I quickly got to work on a skeleton grinder. This would actually slowly evolve into one of my first bases in Minecraft. As more of my friends joined the world, we needed a way to keep order. Thus, the LEA was born, the Llamacraft Enforcement Agency. But eventually the world had to come to a close, and we were ready to move on. Llamacraft 2 was a different story. After switching over to a 24/7 server on Java Edition, we were able to operate with more people for longer times. Llamacraft 2 would set the foundations for what we wanted and not wanted our playstyle to feel like. New to the whole multiplayer experience, our bases were small and very close to each other. As one of my first larger scale builds, I helped my friend develop his base into a cliffside castle. And on the opposite side from the castle, we had a small shopping area to sell and buy goods from each other. And to keep stock of my shops, I constructed several farms consisting of a sugarcane, cactus, and even an iron farm. But after a few months, we grew impatient and we started our third world. Llamacraft 3 were the dark times for our server. Following Llamacraft 2, we decided to live in separate bases very far from each other. But due to this change from before, a lot of players lost motivation to keep playing. So, different from the other Llamacraft worlds, this one became more of a solo mission. I had two major projects in mind. A vast nether tunnel system connecting many parts of the world, and a base housing my items and several farms to fuel it. The tunnels would span for hundreds of blocks. Even though not connecting very many players, it did serve for a good transportation system. This world's base would explore my more technical side of Minecraft. Upon entering the base, you would meet with a large nether-themed room. I used a lot of nether brick on this world. The walls were lined with sugarcane farms. That was the hub of my base, with hallways branching off to many other rooms and farms. Just to list a few, I had a netherwort farm, cactus farm, creeper farm, string farm, and a super smelter, all built around two large iron farms. And where I stored all these items was in a storage room. The wall was lined with shulker blocks, which made it really easy to keep organized. But Llamacraft 3 grew very lonely. After 6 months of playing primarily by myself, I was ready for the fourth world to begin. Llamacraft 4 was the start to many great things. Alongside the release of the aquatic update, Returning players and myself set out with very ambitious projects in mind. Instead of having bases this time around, we decided to split up the world into different districts. Each district would pertain to a specific theme and style of building. Our starting districts would be the city, medieval, pirate, fantasy, Christmas, Halloween, space, and industrial. When the world started, I did what all good Minecraft players do on the first night, and lived in a hole. Once defeating the dragon in the first week, we were already prepared to construct farms. As my friend Seth was building his mob grinder, I began work on farming a more specific mob, creepers. Now that I had an elytra, I needed to achieve flight. I spent several days building a creeper factory to produce gunpowder for the rest of the server. Little did I know that this next project would become a major staple of the world. I had an idea to build a city to act as our shopping area. To do this, we had to excavate the land and flatten it down for the roads to be laid upon. The city would become a long-going project that lasted for the rest of the world. Eventually, Halloween rolled around, so to celebrate, I developed the Halloween district. But that's when everything changed. Llamacraft 4 was beginning to reach a slumping point, much like Llamacraft 3. That is, until we had a new member join. Caden Winters. Caden quickly got to work on the pirate district, which no one had touched before. And when winter came, Caden and I built up the winter district with 3 small lodges and a snowman. Several of the districts would be built up by various members during this time. My friend Carter started his castle base project, while my friend Jason started his fantasy base project. Then Jeff returned and started the space district. With so many districts popping up, we needed a quick and easy way to travel between them. So we constructed a monorail system connecting up stations from each district. The monorail ran through the city, the pirate village, the winter area, the castle, space, Jason's tower, and the creeper factory. By this point, we had pretty much fleshed out all the ideas we had for the world. Then the 1.14 update dropped. This sparked a whole new wave of ideas and inspiration for the members of the server. Coming back to Llamacraft after taking a well-deserved break, Seth and I made a couple of towers on hills behind the city. A tower from the Nether, and a tower from the End. Next to us, Jason lifted an island into the sky for his own project. During all of this time, the spawn had been left mostly neglected. So to create a grand entrance into the city, I spent days planning and building several skyscrapers. And one of those skyscrapers became the home of a familiar name. The LEA had came back, but this time not as a dictatorship, but as an economic business. LEA this time stood for the Llamacraft Economic Association. On the other side of Spawn, I made a smaller castle to represent the medieval district. we had finally completed the city. Except, that is what we would have been saying if we had not decided to double its size. Clearing away a mountain, we made room for the second half of the city. But while the city was doubling in size, the pirate district was also doubling in size. Seth built a pirate house, so I built a pirate house, so Caden built a pirate house, and so we were left with a pirate cove. And next to that cove, we parked a pirate ship. That's when a time machine crashed in the city. So of course the most logical way to react in the situation was to build an entire military compound to keep it safe. So that's exactly what Caden, Jeff, and I did. Eventually there were watchtowers and fighter jets looking over the city. This is when we realized the world was too large and needed to be shared with others. So we built a village for new coming members to settle in. That month, we had nearly 10 new members join the Llamacraft family. And with that, we hit another season of winter. To encourage development in the winter district, we held a Christmas building competition. Several of us built amazing holiday-inspired builds, but Caden came out on top. That Christmas Eve, I spent my entire day placing snow. As some of our last few projects on the server, I built a Japanese-inspired temple and a tropical resort. Next to the resort, Caden built a getaway vacation island. Finally, after 2 years, Llamacraft 4 came to a close. In that last week, I spent my time grinding and finishing every last project. And together, we completed the castle, built an ark, and sailed away to Llamacraft 5. Well, who knows what the future will hold. To be honest, my favorite part about this whole YouTube journey so far is definitely the different people and new friends I've been able to make along the way, and being able to connect with old friends as well. I'm excited for where Llamacraft goes from here, and for where my channel goes from here as well. This has been Ulrich, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!